let's talk about breaking glass.
Yeah, let's talk about the fun stuff. So I know there's a couple ways to do it, and I break glass in a couple different ways, but maybe we can talk a little bit back and forth about the ways we both know how to break glass. And
Absolutely. I mean, so when you're working with glass, there's two parts to it. You got to score it, which is telling it where you want to break it, and then the actual breaking. So we'll run through a few different methods, and none of them are right or wrong. They're just all different tools to get to an end. And sometimes some work better than others, depending on what you're doing.
yeah,
So we'll start with just breaking down a sheet. We have a 12 by 12 here, and we want to break it down. So the easiest thing for me is to score against a bar.
okay.
It's just faster. If you try to draw a straight line freehand and put a ruler up and draw a line against a ruler, it's faster.
That works as well too.
Well, it works as well, and it's faster. Because if you're trying to draw a straight line freehand, you're going slow, trying to be careful. But
Also, it's nearly impossible.
there you go. So,
That too.
anyways, this Morton system gives us a nice, easy way to
And so,
go ahead and make a straight line, and the easiest way to get a super clean break. Go ahead.
oh no, so you're gonna use the table to break
I'm
the
gonna
glass.
use the edge of the table, and if we had a big 24 by 24 sheet, this is way easier. So we're just gonna take it right here. I have the edge of the score line is right at the edge of our table. We could use the edge of our surface too if we wanted to. I'm just gonna bam,
Bam.
and that's it. Super
Nice, clean.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. So it's just fast and easy. And if you're doing a bunch of big sheets, it's so easy just to score, whack, score, whack.
Okay.
So I like that. Next, let's talk about,
How about our handy tools, our running and our grozing pliers?
oh good.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about those.
Running pliers. So basically when you get glass to break, you're bending it. You're literally bending it, which is why on your running plier, you'll notice it's curved.
Sort of that little
Right.
curve
and
up.
it's curved in a particular direction, right?
Yeah.
The reason for that is we're trying to bend the glass. And again, screw up. Has to be up.
So you don't screw up.
Exactly. And don't take the rubber boots off your running pliers if you're
Okay.
using running pliers, because it's buffering the glass on there so you're not metal to metal. These set screws are funny. You can use them. I don't think I've actually ever seen anyone use it.
I've never used them,
Most
so.
people back them out. So even if your screw is gone, at least you know where the screw went, and that helps you remember which direction you should be holding your running plier. So, and there's always a line on the running plier.
Okay.
And that little line should be the side that's touching the score. So another way to know that you're in the right direction.
Right.
So here, why don't you make a score?
Does it have to be straight?
It does not have to be straight.
I'll make it slightly curved because you don't always have to do straight lines. There's a certain capacity to do more curved lines, but at some point it might break. So I won't do an extreme curved line, but I'll do a slightly curvy line.
Very nice. So now when you use your running plier,
I'm gonna
put this little line in line with your score, exactly like you have it, and gently press. There you go.
boom.
Now, if you had a longer piece and it only went part of the way through your score, there's no rule that says you can't flip it around and run it backwards as well.
See, I've heard that you should do that because it breaks better that way. Is there any truth to that? All opinion?
Yeah, it works great for some people. I've done that before, and especially if it only runs part of the way, then I do that for sure.
Okay.
It does seem to give you a real clean edge on both ends. So
Interesting. So running pliers and grozing pliers, they're used for different kind of cuts with glass. Typically, do you feel like these pliers are better for, bigger sheets, big straight lines? And
So, yeah, when you have a fair amount of glass left on either side of your score, at least enough to get this onto the glass, this is just the easiest and gets the cleanest score run,
Okay.
I find.
okay.
Sometimes, though, if you have a real tiny little piece and it's skinny, you may not be able to get your running plier on there. It's going to be off the edge. And so that's when we get into a grozing plier. And what we do, as opposed to going in line with the score, we're going to go perpendicular to the score.
And you're going to create that pressure with your thumb and the pliers by creating sort of that same bend that the bigger pliers do.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to basically, you're opening the score.
Okay.
It's like opening the score.
And how do you know which side of the grozing pliers is the right side? You know, which is face up, since there's not
Right.
a handy screw.
I usually make it so it's smiling at me.
I always say alligator mouth.
Oh,
it looks like an
alligator
alligator
mouth.
mouth.
Yep,
The
that
flat
works.
part's the top, and then the bottom is sort of the mouth to the alligator.
Exactly. So I put that right up on the score, and I'm putting the jaws right up to it.
Okay.
And I'm going to be, this is the action I'm going to be using. I'm going to be,
I always call it kind of breaking. You're kind of,
Yep.
I mean, you're breaking down, but then some people are like, no, you're going up. So
yeah, it's kind of you're opening the score.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm trying to do. And nothing also says that you have to do it all in one piece. So I can start loosening it here, and I can loosen it a little bit here, and I can loosen it a little bit here, and just kind of weaken that joint, and then it just
see,
pops right out.
that's something new for me. I didn't know that you could or do you want to do that?
Yeah,
So
because actually what I can be doing is getting the score to start running along that line, and then it goes. Now let's say you are doing a little tiny piece on a little tiny piece. Now that's even harder, right? So
Yeah.
if I flip this around, not 100% sure this is going to work, but let's give it a run.
hey, that's
I need to
that's
cut this in half.
glasswork.
Now I might be able to get my running plier on there, but let's say I can't. Sometimes they're just so small. I put one, I can't hold this with my hands. So
Yeah.
It's real convenient to have a second grozing plier.
I'm gonna be impressed if this works.
Too much pressure.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
So there you go. Sometimes you need two.
Okay, what's the coolest way to break glass that we haven't talked about yet?
Oh, the coolest way. Well, you know, the glazers, these guys with giant forearms, they'll just do it with their hands, right?
You're kind of cool if you can do it with your hands.
There's something about that, right? It's kind of fun. So you get a score like this. Again, it's just the same action. And what I do is I put my fingers on either side underneath the score line. And then I've got my thumbs on either side. And I'm going to do this.
You're gonna create that same pressure.
You're
Boom.
basically just pulling the glass apart.
Yeah, that's the coolest way to do it. Honestly.
But the reality is, what you want is equal pressure on either side of the score so that it ends up with a real perpendicular edge.
Okay.
And actually, right where I had my fingers, it did kind of slope in a little bit because my pressure wasn't perfectly equal on either side. Whereas on a running plier, that's one of the advantages to using a running plier is you can get that perfect, a little more equal
Interesting.
pressure. Another tool you can use is the Morton safety brake system, which actually is a two-part little system here. And again, doing skinny pieces with the Morton system is pretty easy. So let's say I want to divide this piece in half. I can use the safety brake, and you lay it right on top of the score. And then my finger goes directly under the score.
Okay.
And again, it's just bending the glass. This is bending, it's bending right there. So when I put the glass on there, it's gonna help bend the glass.
Perfect.
And
Wow.
That worked great.
Another little break too.
Now, if I need to cut this one in half, it's gonna get even tighter, right?
Again, I'll be impressed.
Ah.
But you're kind of a glass master, so.
Not really. So anyhow, now I'm going to divide this one. Now getting even my finger on this one would be difficult, but the safety brake has this other little feature, and this becomes my finger, the fulcrum point. And notice it's curved. It's a little dome. Place it right anywhere in the grid system, and I lay my score right on there, and then I use this block, which is basically like
The same thing.
The same thing, just with a paddle handle. And I place it with the score running this way, and I put a line on mine so I can remember which way to go. I line that up with the score, and I'm going to try to press with equal pressure on either side and just gently press it. And again, the nice thing about this, unlike running pliers, is that I can massage the score line all the way down because I don't have to be right on the end. I can do it from any side, right?
Wow.
Bam. There you go. So you can get
Look
some
at
real
that.
little tiny pieces, which is kind of nice.
Well, so there's so many ways to break glass. It just seems like it just depends on the situation and what you'd like to do. But yeah, we've got some good options on how to break glass after we've scored it perfectly.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for sharing, Steve. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.